probably went through some things in your life that have made you, reevaluate, the way you act or, react in certain situations, or just made some research online on how to move past certain obstacles you've encountered. This is what it's about. In this video, I want to talk about the therapeutic principles of Phil Stutz, Jonah Hill's therapist. So the whole thing starts off on the basis that most people that struggle with something in their life, mental health issues, or they're just going through something, most probably lack a sense of direction in life. And to manage that, you have to start by activating your life force. Your life force is basically just a pyramid of 3 layers. The first layer at the base is your physical body, your relationship with your physical body. At the middle, you have your relationship with the people around you. And at the top, you have your relationship with yourself. So, first of all, relationship with your body, pretty basic stuff, right? That means getting enough sleep, inserting the right nutrients, vitamins, minerals, whatever, into your body, and exercising enough. A few hours a week, whatever it is, just get out there and do something. At the middle of the pyramid, you have your relationship with the people around you. That means that, at least in the way that Stutz puts it, basically the people around you is what makes you feel connected to humanity, what makes you feel connected to life. So you have to take an initiative and just invite somebody, doesn't matter who, to like a lunch or drink, some kind of activity, and just talk to them in a more like personal way, interact with them, just to feel more connected to humanity and not feel just completely alone. And finally, at the top of the pyramid, we have our relationship with ourselves. It's basically it's pretty much just journaling and like mindfulness, right? Figuring out who you are, tapping into your subconscious. So the best way to do that is to journal. Just grab a piece of paper or a notebook of some kind, of pen or pencil, and just start writing whatever you want, right? Literally everything that comes to your mind. Part X is the side of you that keeps you from becoming better, from evolving into something more than what you already are. In a more dramatic sense, it's basically, the villainous persona at the back of your head that's just yelling at you, to just give up. And this voice inside of your head is amplified by attempting to read your life of the 3 aspects of reality that nobody can avoid, which is pain, uncertainty, and constant work. And the only way to cope with these things is to learn to enjoy the process, right? The journey. And you learn to cope with the journey, aka life, with the help of the tools that Jonah and Stutz go on to talk about. So first on the list, and the most important tool that you can teach yourself, is the string of pearls. It's about looking at yourself as the collection of actions that you do in a day. All pearls are the same size, meaning that whatever happens, whether it's getting out of bed in the morning, your life will keep going. And just as important, you are the one that puts the pearls on the string. You are in control of your decisions of what you do next. Just keep going and do stuff, because there is no right answer. As Phil Stutz puts it, there's like a little turd inside of every pearl, which basically implies the impossibility of achieving perfection. In this case, the shadow is not actually Sonic's rival that's so cool because he's black and he can make everything go slow, but instead the part of you that you are ashamed of. For example, you might be ashamed that, you're fat or skinny or single or not smart enough. So step 1 is finding your shadow. You can do that by just closing your eyes and visualize a time in your life when you felt embarrassed or shy or just in any way, shape, or form ashamed of some aspect of your being. When you finally find it, just talk to it, right? Try to figure out what it is. And frankly, there's a chance that the most important thing to do is to just acknowledge it. It's a part of you, and the more you deny the attention that it deserves, the harder it's going to be for you to move on. It's not about refusing to grow and change as much as it is just about accepting where you're at the moment, right? Imagine this. How can you win a race if you don't know where it starts? You know what I'm trying to say? How can you get to a goal or achieve something in your life if you don't know where you are at the moment? And speaking of where you're at and where you're going, I think we've all at least once in our lives imagined this perfect life that we want, right? That's what the snapshot is. It represents the false dream of a perfect life, which is why it's also called the realm of illusion. The perfect job, the perfect wife, friends, car, awards, the ultimate success, the concept of which is perpetuated by the part X in front of you, inside of you. By its nature, a snapshot is defined by lack of motion, which is the opposite of life. As we discussed, you can't avoid stuff like pain, uncertainty, and hard work. So you build this fantasy inside of your head that if you just had this one more thing, you would be happy. And you keep chasing this inexistent scenario in which you are happy, when you should really just focus on who you are and where you are at the moment, to even be able to talk about reaching some sort of peace of mind. And speaking of reaching a destination, if you find it hard to move past something in your past, you might be lost in the maze. The maze is, quote, the product of part X because part X wants fairness. To get out of the maze, oftentimes you need to make an effort to move past a certain conflict from the past that you've had with most probably someone close to you, right? Move on with your life. And you move on with the help of active love, which is the act of imagining yourself feel as much love as possible for this person that you feel has cheated you in some way. It's not about forgiving them, it's about moving on with your life. Use active love as a tool to waste as little time as possible on stuff like this, because as mentioned earlier, life doesn't stop. So I think all of us have these moments in our lives when we're like stressed or anxious about something from the future, most probably, right? Or something we did in the like close past, if that makes sense, recent past. You have these moments in your life where you're just sort of just like wasting time worrying. That's when radical acceptance comes in. It means taking actions by asking yourself, what am I going to do about it now? Figure out what you can and cannot control and train yourself to just simply accept reality without any kind of like negative thoughts towards yourself. Maybe find an opportunity in this chaos. When you look at all the events as having value, you find yourself in a much more favorable position. You'll find moments in your life when you feel like shit. Simple as that. Most probably because of your part X messing up your day. Whatever your part X made you believe has created some sort of metaphorical dark cloud of crappy feelings that blocks out the metaphorical sun of contentment. Lots of metaphors here. To empower the rays of sunshine to penetrate through this big dark mass, I could not put it another way, you might want to practice the grateful flow, which, as Stutz puts it, is not the things that you're grateful for, but instead the grateful flow is the process for creating these things. Honestly, pretty sure it's just practicing gratefulness. So there's loss processing. This is about losing anything that you're attached to, a person, an activity, a thing, etc. Basically managing attachment related issues. It's important to realize that something or someone leaving your life does not mean it's the end, and it's not just all you have. Oftentimes we get lost in these relationships that we forget our sense of individuality. We start to identify with these relationships at a very, very deep level. So when they leave, it feels like our life is over, but it's not. You're so much more than that part of your life. So you need to practice this, quote, potency of non-attachment. The idea of being able to chase something while being okay with losing it, and leaving it be. The objective is to develop this like mental state in which the absence of any person, place, or thing cannot completely shatter your sense of wholeness, being, and identity. And I think, in a sense, the last sentence that I said, just describes the general purpose of therapy for a lot of people, which is to help them practice being more okay with shit happening, because that's just life. That's just life. That's it. That's how life works. At the end of the day, life is very random. You can never be certain of what will happen next, but you can train yourself to be more accepting of whatever the future holds for you.